Hi, everybody. Welcome to another chat with us today. We're with Georgie, who is the Pawsative Trainer who is based in Grapham near Petworth. And Georgie, I'm going to have to read this out now because there's too many to remember. So you're a qualified trainer with the IMDT. You are a certified dog trainer with the Victoria Stillwell Academy. You're part of the Behaviour and Training Charter, the Association of Pet Dog Trainers, the IAABC, Man Training Global, First Aider, and all-round lovely person. Is that about right?
Oh, yeah, that's very kind. Yes.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So we've wanted to have a chat to you today about, because I know you do man training sessions, because I keep putting people your way and hopefully they come to you. You're going to have a shepherd come to you soon who's very,
Oh, lovely.
she's very bored and she does use her nose very, very well.
Yes, perfect for
Very
them.
good. So, what I wanted to try and do today, really, and the reason for getting you on was to really talk about the benefits of even just basic man training is for your average pet dog, if you like. So, so basically, let us know kind of what it is, how you start, the benefit, all that kind of stuff. I'll leave it over to you. So, welcome to us today at Intro Dogs.
So, my elevator pitch style thing for man trailing is two versions: hide and seek with your dog, and they're going to use their nose to help find people. And then the other version, a bit more in depth, is it's basically the same sort of training that's used for departments of search and rescue, where your dog is actively working with you, taking the scent from an item of clothing or something from a missing person, following that down and taking you to them and going, huzzah! We just do it with pet dogs for fun. And our dogs do it for the reward at the end, be that food, toys, whatever motivates them. But quite a lot of the time, as they go along, they find the trailing itself motivating.
Okay, cool. And this can be for any dog, whether you've got a cocker spaniel, a chihuahua, a Bernese mountain dog. It doesn't matter about breed.
Yes, I definitely. Even short face breeds, all dogs have an amazing sense of smell. Something like 125 million to 300 million olfactory receptors. So every dog, you'll probably notice as you take them out on a walk, loves to use their nose and get a good sniff of the surroundings. So this just really taps into it. And size isn't an issue. If you're able to take them for a walk, then they are capable of man trailing.
Excellent stuff. And of course, with any dog, I suppose, the amount of people that you see, they go out on walks and the dog starts to sniff and then they pull them along and you kind of go, just let them sniff.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's just such a big part of their world. It'd be like asking us to go along outside blindfolded.
I feel we'd be like us being told not to take our phones out with us.
Yes.
That's probably don't look at your phone, right? That's probably the biggest thing nowadays, isn't it? So let's just say I brought my dopey shepherd along and went, okay, look, I want to get his brain going a little bit. I want something to do with him that I could perhaps take on to normal walks with myself, day to day. So where will we start? What point do we kind of, is there a almost a test to see if your dog's at a certain level or they're capable? How do you start us off?
So it starts off really nice and easy. That most dogs know at least to some level, even as puppies, recall. So you wave something interesting under their nose, be food most likely, and this is the person who's hiding. You're staying with your dog. They wave under their nose, run a short distance away so they've just dipped out of sight. Then you go to your dog, okay, we're going to go hunt that person down. They go, yeah, okay, let me at them. And some dogs, they're like, I don't really know what we're doing yet. So we'll help poodle them over there. They get the food. They go, oh, that was nice. Person runs away again, another short distance. At this point, we're still quite visual until the dog's really motivated, going, I need to get to the person because they've got my reward. Then what we start doing is adding just a little bit of difficulty. So the person goes out of sight, then maybe round another tiny small corner. So the dog gets to where they saw the person disappear out of sight, goes, oh, I've lost them. What other sense do I have available to me? My nose. Okay, I'll sniff them. There they are. So that first little bit just gives a little light bulb for them. So they go, okay, I'm getting to use my nose here. This works. And some dogs pick it up so quickly that one session that they're just straight on using their noses. And you'll even see it that when they get to the person, they're still sniffing, not even visually locked onto the person until they've walked right up to them and go, oh, I found you.
So at this point, are we looking at airborne scent or are we looking at ground scent? And at what point do we go to proper kind of bloodhound, nose on the floor type stuff?
So it really varies. A lot of dogs, so this is slightly different from, there's the other discipline, which is tracking. Tracking is very strict on, to my knowledge, to that you need your dog to stay as accurately to footprint that the person has walked. And you're usually looking for that nose to ground behavior. With man trailing, it's a lot more relaxed. We go with what your dog naturally wants to choose. So a lot of dogs will do a mixture between the two. And that will also vary with the temperature, the humidity, and how old the trail is. So if the trail's quite fresh, so we're shedding our scent off from our breath, from our skin as we're running away. So that's going to be floating around in the air as air scent. Over time, that's going to settle down, think like dust to a floor. Again, so now switching to ground scent. If it's hot, air rises, so scent's going to stay up a bit in the air a bit more. If it's humid or it's been raining, it's going to stick to the ground or even run along the ground a bit. So your dog is just going to use their nose to figure out where they need to stick it. And also you're going to have it a bit by breed. So say you've got something like a bloodhound or a shepherd spaniel, they like sticking their noses to the ground and squiggling along going, yes, yes, yes. Whereas I have a few dogs such as a setter and a wirehead pointer, and they actually quite like to have their noses quite up high. The German wirehead pointer quite likes to see if she can use her eyes along the way as well.
Cool. Okay. Would you say it's quite a good thing to do, even if the dog's got some behavioural issues? So if they might be a bit reactive, a bit nervous, or whatever it's going to be. I mean, is it something that would kind of help a little bit along those lines?
Yeah, it's extremely beneficial. You've got the fact that your dog isn't ever going off lead doing this exercise. So if whatever your reason you can't let your dog off, be it that they like to go off and chase wildlife, they've not got the best recall, or if they see a dog or a person that they're going to go run over and shout at them, that you have that safety factor in place. Then you also have that man trailing. Each dog and person team is run one at a time with the other dogs waiting either in their cars or if it's a bit too hot at various distances away from each other, so it's nice and peaceful. And because of the nature of the sport, you'll find that a lot of us have dogs that struggle with such things. So you own a very understanding community. On top of that, if your dog is person fearful, so stranger danger, it's really beneficial actually in building their confidence about people, because you've got these people turning up to sessions who we've briefed about how your dog likes to be approached if they don't want to be touched. Then they're pairing a positive experience of getting to hunt them down and get that tasty food. So they're doing that minimal contact with each stranger each time and go, oh, that stranger didn't bother me, but I had a great time. So over time, they become more and more confident. I've had several dogs who have now, especially with our little community of people who regularly come to training, they're all best friends. And these are dogs who would usually have a good shout if a human dead would look at them.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, I know where you're based. So I know you've got all that stunning forestry all around you, which is just, Denise, if you can imagine it, almost like New Zealand, it's just this wonderful forest as far as you can see, and there's just trails everywhere, and it's brilliant. Do you often have some of the dogs that kind of get distracted and go, oh, look, it's a deer. Oh, look, it's a rabbit.
Funnily enough, not too much on the wildlife side. We usually find it's where you get out of the car park and you have what I call poopy alley, where dogs have gotten out of the car and they've done their first toilet. That's very hard because your dog's actively using their nose. All those scents are flooding up in their nostrils and they're going, oh. But because we're not operationally training, we're not needing to go hunt down the person at high speed. No. It's okay if your dog wants to have a bit of a sniff as you go along. If we're finding that they're really excessively, it just might mean that we need to make the trails even easier for them so that they're going, never mind that, I need to get to the person because they're just over there. That's really easy. I can come back and sniff this later.
Yeah, okay. So it's the emphasis on what you're doing there, then by the sounds of it, it's all just really about your dog having fun, you having fun, increasing the bond between the two because you're doing an activity together.
Yes.
And of course, the treat that the dog gets is only going to be a treat if the dog thinks it is.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Whether that's a bit of food or even a cuddle or a toy or something like that, it doesn't really matter, does it, about the treat?
No, basically we completely work off of what is rewarding for the dog. However, if you do have a dog who goes absolutely bananas for a toy, so usually our collies or shepherds, they can be a bit too intense. Sometimes it's actually better to go for a food so they're not going into full throttle panic, I must get to toy mode. Instead, they're going, okay, I can stop and think and sniff along the way, and I'll get my food. And you can even mix it in together. So when you do trailing, you do 2 trails in a row. So one long one and then a short one once you've gotten to your person. So a nice way to do it for those dogs that like both is first one, food reward, second one, food reward, followed by toy reward. So the dog gets to then have that good toy play as we make our way back to the car park.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a little bit of downtime, a calming downtime on the way back as we go, which is okay. So I know with when it's search and rescue. Sorry, you're right there, Denise. It's going a bit wrong.
The technology's not playing ball.
I know.
Oh my god, I'm gonna break this computer.
It keeps because it's the mic's on, so it keeps flipping the screen back, but you keep freezing. We're hoping to get Denise in for this chat, but she's having massive problems with the internet. I know with the search and rescue guys, obviously that's much more intense. That's much more regimented, if you like. But there's certain cues that they teach the dog to do when they've either found somebody or they'll run back and perhaps put their paws on the handler, that kind of stuff. But I'm assuming that with the man training you're doing, it's just like there's somebody hiding. Let's go and find them. Have a treat.
Yeah, if you're so motivated to move up through levels, as it were, you can get to the point where your dog is doing a indication. So that can be something as simple as a sit indication that they get to the person, just sit in front of them and go, sweeties. That's your indication. That's the right person.
Brilliant. I had a client once. They rescued a Springer, a Spaniel. And basically, he was a failed drug dog. He didn't pass the tests, but he did all the kind of work and stuff. But whenever they go walk around their local park, he would run up to groups of teenagers and sit in front of them. And it was just like, you've got drugs. And that must be so funny to do. So have you had some like very, very nervous dogs come along? And how soon would you perhaps see the confidence grow?
Some dogs, it's been insanely immediate. I did a short workshop at a local rescue where one of their dogs was so fearful that they weren't able to leave like the small outside runs to be able to go out into the fields.
Wow.
We on their normal day-to-day walks, we did a little bit of trailing in those little corridors, and then I thought, okay, let's just try and see if we can go just into the field. Dog was like, yeah, no problem, I'm having a great time hunting a person. Cross the field, no problem. And then they reported back to me that they found that if they did that trailing with him every couple of days or so, he was still then happy to go on normal walks out in those areas as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So it was just really, really cool.
Of course, I mean, that's just going to make him a little bit easier to rehome as well.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that's fantastic.
The caveat that his new family are going to have to take on a new activity.
Yeah, they're going to have to be a little bit fitter, I think, if they're not. So they need to be an outdoorsy kind of people, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Denise, are you with us? Have you got any questions? Denise is not with us. She has no questions.
On the note of fitness, I do want to note that even if you aren't at the height of fitness, whether you're recovering from an injury, as long as you're able to like pootle along for short walks, either you or your dog who's recovering, it is completely accessible to you because we can just shorten the trails to whatever's comfortable for you. And we're not trying to run with our dogs, we're walking because we need to give them time to sniff as well.
So we're not talking about sort of rugged terrain. We're not talking about mountain rescue. This could be done in your local park with some trees about the place.
Well, I think you know of one location actually. It's nearby. I always forget its name. Where it's very hilly, and I know it's problem with being in the downs is that the hills. But yes, so it's not too bad for the individuals trailing with their dogs because you've got your dog to slightly help you up the hill,
Yeah.
And you're only doing one. However, I'm running back and forth all of these, so I stay very fit.
Oh, yeah. I think we're an electric bike at that point, or a little motorbike doing backwards and forwards.
Well, I've always said I need to attach a line to the back of the person trailing so they can help me up the hill as well.
That would do, yeah. I know around sort of Petworth Way, especially with places like Duncton Hill and Berry.
That's the one I'm thinking of, yes.
Oh, that's insanely steep. That's just ridiculous. I've been back when I was fit, I would do that walk quite often because it's such a lovely walk to go around, but by God, it's steep.
Yes.
It's
especially at the back of the hill. It's steep.
So I'm assuming that does it matter about age of dog? I mean, I know you said earlier that as long as you can walk your dog, we're okay, and you can adapt it to most things. But is there ever a time when you might look at a dog and kind of go, well, this might not be for my dog?
Yes, because although we are walking and this is a low impact activity, your dog is actively pulling against a harness. So say if your dog has, for example, a back issue. So I have one dog of my own who I personally choose not to trail because she does have a long-term back problem.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's suitable for her. However, age-wise, that's fine. I have my own 11-year-old girl, and she still loves doing trailing. I just do it a little bit shorter for her so that she's not getting too tired.
Yeah, that's cool. And I'm assuming that obviously once you've done a few sessions, well, then these people, they can take it out on their regular walks with them, with the families. They can go and, the kids can go and hide, and the dog has to go and find the kids, blah, blah, and they could obviously introduce them perhaps some different terrains, and maybe make if you're able to make it a bit more difficult as well.
Yeah, the official man trailing global line is we strongly recommend you to stick with the trainers because we don't want you to basically break your dog by setting trails too hard, because people often can get a bit too ambitious and go, okay, let's see what if our dog can do this. And then it can really put your dog off if they keep losing the game. However, my rule of thumb is have fun with your dog. As long as you're doing those nice little short trails, there's going to be absolutely no harm to it. You're not aiming to do operational trailing with your dog. So as long as you're making sure that you're doing easy wins, it's a great thing to take out with the family.
Yeah, I think it's like most training, isn't it? If we make it fun and it's interesting for both us and their dog, and it's just a giggle, or at that point, then this is not difficult. You don't have to make it very, very difficult all the time. So it's quite a nice thing to do. Would you say that this would give you any kind of extra control around things like livestock or wildlife?
Yes and no. It depends on how we set up the trails. So we can, for some dogs, the trailing itself, because it's a hunting outlet of basically hunting on a person, it can reduce down their prey drive a bit. For other dogs, it can not quite provide that. But then if we start factoring it into a desensitization plan of, okay, we're going to set up this trail. We know there's going to be sheep, for example, in that paddock. We're going to set it up so we're a good distance, that we're passing the sheep. That's nice and easy. And they're going, oh, I'm on my job, passing sheep. It can definitely work for that. And for some dogs, it definitely can also help reduce the craziness of their prey drive as well. And like the wirehead pointer that I was saying that comes to sessions, I always fear that she's going to pull the shoulder out of the guy who walks her, because she doesn't religiously pull, but she'll suddenly go, there's a bird in that bush.
Love it.
And he's seen that greatly reduce actually while we've been doing the trailing, even outside of the trailing sessions. So it definitely can help, but again, depends on the dog.
It's a nice thing to see, isn't it? I mean, when you see a dog that perhaps is either a bit nervous, a bit fearful, or just setters are setters. They're nuts anyway. So when they have that kind of nuttiness or fearfulness about them. And as we know with any dog, if they've got an issue, there's little Leo saying that if they've got an issue, we know that if they've got a job to do, it can help to focus their mind a bit. So it must be really good for you as the trainer to see these dogs improve week on week on week, and it's obviously even more so to see the dog guardian have more and more control, but more confidence in their dog.
Yes, definitely. It's been really lovely watching them on these journeys and being able to set. I have especially a group who have a little bit more reactive dogs, so either people or dog towards people or dogs or both, where we've slowly built them up and we've started bravely taking our trailing into quiet areas of town as well. So now we're seeing more dogs than people. Because that's the other thing about man trailing is that it is completely suitable for urban environments as well, because we're connected to our dogs.
I never do that. I suppose most people do. We always kind of think about man trailing or whatever. It's out in the woodlands somewhere. It's nice and quiet and peaceful. But you're saying we can go down Midhurst High Street. We can go down your local town centre.
Yeah, I'm literally Midhurst by a car park by the library. That's one of our spots that we go to. It's brilliant.
Oh wow! So okay, that's really interesting. So how would your, and I'm thinking outside the box here now. So of course, let's just say it's just after Christmas, and the whole world has got their Lynx Africa, and everyone smells the same. How does your dog cope with that going through an urban area?
I have to say urban areas are harder because they don't have as much green, and all of our vegetation and soil helps for the scent to stick to. So that's one factor that makes the urban areas harder. As for all the conflicting smells, again, I can't speak for it because I don't have a dog's nose. However, once they've learned to identify what scent they're after, they can pick it out in the smallest amount through such a busy environment, no problem. And again, if we find that our dog is struggling with that, we make the trail shorter and easier, because if we're making one factor harder, such as a busier environment, then we make another factor easier, set our dogs up for success. Because again, we're just wanting our dogs to have a really good time and feel accomplished from it.
Brilliant, fantastic. I'm gonna have to come and shadow you one day on some of the.
It's fun.
I'd love to come and see some of that. It just looks like a lot of fun, and I see a lot of clients, and I mean you're on my little list that I send out to people when I give my little report, and there's a section on it that describes scent work and how it can benefit your dog, and your name's always in there going, look, give this lady a shout. Go and do some man training.
Yeah, come try it. It's mad. We're a bunch of weirdos hiding in woods and towns, but the dogs and us are having a great time.
Well, I suppose that's the flip side, isn't it? So do you ever get kind of caught out where maybe someone's noticed someone hiding in the bushes and calls the police and that kind of stuff?
I personally haven't had that, thankfully, with any of my lot. However, I've known other man trailing instructors who have had people come along and be like, okay, there's a weird man in the bush. This is a bit concerning. So one of the things that we can do to be a bit kinder to, especially the men hiding with us, is provide them with a high vis that says, for example, training search dogs, professional hider and that sort of stuff.
Not a weirdo. Yeah, I'm safe. It's okay. Brilliant. A friend of mine years ago had a German Shepherd, a very large one. He was 12 stone of dog. He was a massive shepherd, but they lived on an army encampment. He wasn't in the army, but he was running the social club. But his dog used to ruin the army games because he'd go out and walk him, and his dog would shoot off and bring out soldiers that were hiding. And this would come out of the woods, and oh my goodness, yeah, exactly. So much fun, so much fun. Is there a particular time of year that's easier to start, or a season or something like that?
Well, at the moment it's too darn hot.
It is.
So any outdoor dog sport is currently unsuitable. As long I'm very fortunate where I am. I have woodland, so I can get away with a couple of degrees warmer than I would do if we're training in a field. But still, past couple of weeks and probably this weekend coming, it's not suitable. However, the rest of the time, it depends. If you're tolerant of the rain, starting in the winter is perfectly suitable as well. However, if you're less tolerant of the rain or your dog doesn't like the rain, it might be better to do late spring, early autumn before the rain really sets in.
But is there a season where it's easier for the dog to follow that scent? I mean, I'm just thinking about atmospheric. So with rain.
Again, that would be slightly cooler, slightly humid, because then the scent's settling and sticking to the ground. Whereas if you've got heavy rain washing away, hot conditions evaporating up.
So kind of late summer, early autumn.
Yeah, exactly.
Weather would be quite. All right, I'm just thinking with some people that they might kind of go, okay, well, if their dog, because as we know, all dogs will go and sniff and smell things, but not all dogs know how to go and sniff and smell things.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to teach them, look, that's a lovely smell, but you need to do this with it. And then it's teaching that bit, I suppose.
Yeah, pairing it together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking that some people might then go, okay, if that's the easiest time to start, is there anything they could do in their own homes to get the dog going with their noses?
If you have enough space, I mean, even me living in my little cul-de-sac, there's my bathroom to over here. You can play a little game of hide and seek out of sight from your dogs. Again, if your dog is likely to panic, it's best to have another member of family or friend with them at the time. So it's not just, oh, good Lord, where has my person gone? And you can call them the entire time that they're looking for you. So they've got also a little bit of audible or cue until you think that they are getting confident to the point to start using their noses. Then you can start going quiet and going, can they find me? Oh, you found me. Oh, well done. Oh, yeah. So just basically getting that little bit of nose work started. And even also teaching them to use their noses, as you said, doing things like cookie hunts around the front. So think like Easter egg hunt, but biscuits hidden around, or even traditional scent work where you're searching for like clove scent or something. Just practicing using that skill of matching nose to finding something gets me reward. Yeah. It completely overlaps nicely.
I love the fact your new foster dog, it looks like little Leo Sayer keeps popping up in at the side. Yeah. It's just this little tiny haircut comes up and then drops down. Oh, he's brilliant. Denise, are you with us? Have you managed to get some sort of internet? No, you haven't. Oh, you've been trying so hard, bless you. Okay, so no, it's been really, really interesting. So you're called the Pawsative Trainer.
Indeed, yes.
And you are based near Petworth, so Grafham.
Yes.
Obviously, I'll add a link to your website.
That'd be really
when I post the video. It won't be today, but there'll be a couple of days' time, probably Saturday. So people can find you on there. Do you have any, so obviously, apart from the man training, you also run puppy classes, basic training classes. What services do you provide?
So puppy classes, teen classes, one-to-one training, and that can be anything from, I don't know, your dog is struggling to walk nice on a lead to your dog is too scared to leave the garden. I particularly love working with, like my little foster here today, very fearful dogs, and helping them come out of their shells and discover that the world is actually a wonderful place to be. So yeah, you've got the puppy classes, teen classes, one-to-one, and man trailing. Those are my jam.
Excellent. I think you're like me. I do like the ones where we have to build confidence.
Yes, it is really nice.
I like that a lot. It's such it. We've both seen dogs that are just brilliant. You know, they're just nuts. They're just funny. And they're doing stuff that perhaps the guardian isn't too fond of, whatever. And that's all well and good. But it's the ones that are a little bit like, oh, I'm not too sure. To get them from being not too sure to going, this is great. This is fantastic.
I mean, even I do want some of my clients, they might go from being really scared and everything to some behaviors that we're not so keen on because they've come out of their shells. And that's okay. That's their personality coming out, feeling safe to express themselves. And we can learn just how to help support them through that.
Yeah. I get that sometimes when I get the complaint kind of thing that my dog's too shy, and then you go and help, and then suddenly get the complaint, well, my dog's too much in your face. You go, okay, we can do things with that as well. But Denise, nod your head if you're with us. Can you hear us, Denise?
Yep.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, you got any questions before you freeze again?
No, because I haven't been able to hear half of it.
Oh, nightmare.
Brilliant.
But it was
Love it.
lovely to see your face on the call.
Yeah, you got back. So now we come to the end of it. It's now working. But never mind. It's all good.
I know I've been frantically whacking the keyboard here,
and you're frozen. Look at that. Excellent stuff. Right. Well, so Denise, you've
trying to figure. I have a low network bandwidth at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna, because you froze again. Then I'm gonna call this a day, and I'll post it during the weekend. But yes, this has been really interesting. I'm definitely going to come and shadow you if that's okay.
Yeah, we're always happy to have people come and hide as well. So it'd be very.
Yeah, I'll do some of that.
And the same goes for people if they aren't sure if it's suitable for their dog. If they want to come check it out without investing money, if you want to come hide, you're very welcome.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, you frozen.
I can't wait to catch up on this.
Oh, it's been really interesting. It's been really fascinating, especially like the urban bit. I enjoyed that. That's something that's got my brain going now. I'm enjoying that. All right, Georgie, it's been lovely having you on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'll post this probably on Saturday evening, and then I'll put a tag into your page as well. And we'll speak to you again at some point. And maybe what I'll do. Here we go. We'll do it on
Lovely to meet you.
We'll perhaps do a live report thing. I can come and shadow you and do some footage. And we can
that'd be lovely. I would help as well because I am terrible at doing my social media. So yes.
Oh, okay. No, cool. Well, yeah, we can do that. We can come and do some footage, and I can Annika Rice it and run away. It'd be really good. Anyway, brilliant. Well, I shall stop the recording and we'll say goodbye probably in a minute. But thank you for coming along. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
Internet wasn't playing ball, but she'll catch up later. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark.